Hey, it's Joy. I've got big feelings about little things, and I want to talk about it. Oh yeah, I'm mad about it. And the fact that everyone else is not up in arms about it is a big part of the problem. Oh, I bawled my eyes out, like I always do. It was the sweetest thing. Oh, it was the cutest thing. It was the funniest thing. Thanks for being here. Let's go. Hi, thanks so much for being here. It's Joy. I'm having big feelings about not so little things. I am fresh from my latest Botox appointment. And I say that I use the term Botox like people use the term Kleenex. I don't necessarily mean that I bought a Kleenex brand something. I may have a Puffs or I may have a whatever. I use Dysport, but my point is I'm using a needle to have stuff put into my forehead so that my muscles don't create wrinkles. That's what I mean by that. And it's really given me some big feelings about aging. And when I was young, I dreamed that I would age gracefully and I would be someone that was above these types of things. And I find myself here where I am not. And most of my conversations about aging actually happen with other women. And those are amazing conversations that I'm so grateful to have. And just a side note before we get off track and I forget, I am extremely grateful to age. Not everyone gets that opportunity. And I am grateful for every day that I get on the planet. And I'm grateful to even have this concept of how to age gracefully. So I want to keep that in the forefront of my mind. And I need to be telling myself that on my way to my Botox appointments. But last week I had one of my oldest, greatest friends, Craig, on with me. And I asked him to come back because I actually have not had the aging conversation with a man. And since he's my same age, I thought this actually might be helpful for me. So Craig is back. Hi, honey.
Hi.
Thank you very much for coming back.
Anytime.
Did you have fun last week? Because it was delightful for me. I had so much fun. It brought so many memories up. And I do want to say, this podcast, I decided that I had a lot of options before I started this, and I decided to do it on my own and to have the option of having a guest on, which have basically just been my friends and family, and it's been a lot of fun. But if I were to do something with someone and have a partner, I think it would be you, because we've kind of done stuff like this before in our history.
Before podcasts were podcasts, we did this.
Long before podcasts were podcasts. I think before... I definitely remember we touched on how we kind of joined Facebook at similar times. But back then I don't even remember exactly how it came up, but we recorded videos and posted them on Facebook, and it was like Craig and Joy are goofing off about whatever thing. We're talking about the Olympics. We're talking about Michael Phelps.
That's how it started. We thought we could do a better job commenting on the Olympics than what was being shown on the TV. So we're like, let's just do our own little video.
And I believe we did.
Of course we did.
Now, did NBC pick us up? Not really.
Yeah.
And by not really, I mean not at all. But that was fun. And then we ended up doing a little series of that, right?
4 or 5 episodes.
We talked about, this is kind of funny. I think we did talk about aging one time.
Yeah.
But we were 29 or something silly. It seemed like we're so old. I know we talked about me on Match.com.
Yeah,
which was not an app at that time. It was literally a website.
Encouraged you to get a dating profile, and I helped you set it up.
You helped, and you took my picture and stuff so that we could post it, make sure I'm not sounding crazy.
And it was a website, was not an app.
No, 100%. You had to open up a laptop, type in Match.com, sign in. Now, the one I think of all the time is the one about the Christmas shoes. Do you remember that?
I do remember it.
So there is a song called Christmas Shoes, and it is now this is all my personal opinion, okay? Not the opinion of this podcast or Craig. It is a very cheesy Christmas song about a kid whose mom is near death and it's Christmas time. He wants to buy some shoes, her special shoes for her, I guess so she can wear them to the funeral is my guess.
Yeah.
And he walks up and doesn't have the money and some guy buys them for him because he told this sad story. Now, people like your mom, who I know well, and my mom, who you know well, love that song.
Still talk about it today.
Still tear up when it comes on the radio station.
1,000%.
And have both, I'm quite sure, seen the Hallmark movie based on this with Brad Paisley's wife in it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I helped my mom download the song onto her iPhone.
You probably did.
Yeah.
I'm sure I downloaded it on my mom's iPod before she even had an iPhone. But I remember very specifically too. There was a short time where you and me and your mom all worked in the same office, and I think we were even making fun of that song, and she let us know that was kind of hurtful,
important to her,
and very important to her.
Yeah.
And she wanted us to listen to it and let it sink in how important it was. And so we just made a video kind of making fun of it a little bit.
Yeah, that probably wasn't the smartest video, but I do remember it clearly. And
it wasn't, but I stand by the comedy.
Yeah,
I thought
of course.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, maybe a little mean-spirited, but I thought we were going to be, we could have been the hosts of the Today Show. At least the fourth hour.
There was a point in that very short period of our friendship where I was like, okay, the path of our careers is now going to be on some talk show.
100%. Yeah.
And we're going to be world famous.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to know Joy and Craig. Mm-hmm. And sure, that was a thing.
I mean, but in all honesty, I literally could have seen us. So now it's Kelly and Mark.
Yeah.
But at that time, it was Regis and Kathy Lee.
Yeah.
And I could definitely see us as that. And so it was sort of like that little 15 minutes at the beginning of their talk show. They would just chit chat and read the news and tell stories about, what their night was like. And I definitely could have seen us doing that. So that must have inspired us to do those videos.
Yeah.
Now, I am aged and I cannot find them or access them anywhere. But if I do find them, I'll post them on my Instagram for you.
I see them pop up on the memories on, you have the memory section of your Facebook.
Yes, same.
But I never think to save it or send it, but next time I will.
Well, because before today, I went and looked for them and I cannot find them. So I'm hoping a memory will pop up.
Or maybe we find a millennial to say, hey, these posted somewhere on Facebook at some point in time years ago. Help me find it.
And I have a little follow-up from last week. So last week we talked a lot about what it's like to be in the same generation. And a little bit of the feedback I heard and what I almost wondered too was I kind of wonder sometimes when you're saying millennials if you really mean Gen Z. Because they're a little bit younger than those. The millennials are kind of close to us and they're
probably is what I mean. Probably here to me, I'm looking at someone that seems younger than me.
Yeah.
Whatever generation they're in, if they're younger than me, I have a harder time relating to
100%.
them.
But isn't that telling though?
Sure it is.
I don't even know what's after Z. I don't know. Is it an alpha? Are we starting over?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I would have to Google it and I'd get
It makes my
distracted
brain
doing
hurt
something else.
to think about.
Same. But thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being my Regis, honey.
Absolutely.
Or maybe I'm the Regis and you're my Kathy Lee. I don't know. Either way, here we are.
I think the latter is probably correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy to have you here. And
you're the star.
Honey, thank you. And Regis's wife was named Joy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. Anyway, okay. See, here's where I start to go down the rabbit trail. And it's like, we have multiple generations listening. We need to just focus. But truly, the reason I did ask you to come back, and I really appreciate it because it's a lot of time that you're giving me. But as I mentioned at the top of the show, a lot of the conversations I have about aging are with other women. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you and I, or any man and woman of a similar age, have probably had extremely different experiences as they begin to age. And so I would love for you to feed back to me a little bit. Maybe why don't we take a current picture of us, and we'll post it so that you guys can see. Just as another side note, we did go to homecoming together senior year.
1995.
And I'm going to post that picture because that's just a delight, and people need that in their lives.
Absolutely.
People need me.
They need that reference point.
And they need me in my puffy shirt and vest and hat, and you in your full denim outfit. Or was it full denim or just a denim top and khaki pants?
I thought there was a cream express
yes,
cardigan
there was.
in that mix, but it could have. It's probably a lot of denim.
Either way, please enjoy that. That's our gift to you. And then we'll show a picture of us because I think it's you look amazing. I just want to say that. You look
so
amazing. Thank you so much. But I do notice one minor thing. Like, I've been coloring my hair for at least 15 years. Minimum of 10 years.
Never once have I colored my hair.
And not once.
No.
And did it ever cross your mind?
Funny you bring it up. And this was not at all something that we discussed before, but today I got my hair cut this morning.
Okay.
And
I was going to say it looks fresh.
On the wall in front of me was this ad that said, blend your gray for a natural look. And I didn't believe it at all, because you see Hair Club for Men and, you know, all Just for Men and all of these things. And
I'll be honest, sometimes someone will come in and I'm like, oh, they did their hair last night, or they did their beard last night, which I totally support. They probably say the same thing about me. Exactly.
And I was like, that's not whatever I want. I mean, I'm okay with my gray. It's been there for a long time. Never really thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm on Zoom meetings a lot recently with my job. And something about the Zoom filter, when I look myself,
or lack of filter,
when I look at myself in that little square, I'm like, gosh, you are aging, looking really old. Never does that cross my mind outside of the Zoom environment. So today, when I was getting my haircut, I saw this ad. I was like, maybe I need to do that. Well, maybe I need to go there.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I have a friend that does aesthetics. She does, Botox and fillers and all that stuff. And she said they saw a massive spike in that kind of stuff when people were on Zoom and doing all these meetings online, because you're constantly looking at yourself. On a regular phone call that's not FaceTime and not Zoom, you're just talking and you're not constantly staring at yourself,
right?
Looking at every little line, every little divot, every little everything.
That's another part of aging, and I think something that you were talking about your Botox that never crosses my mind. Wrinkles, like, it's part of my aging process, and I never worry about it. I never think about it. The gray's a little bit different story recently, but it's not something that consumes my day.
Yeah. Do you think that is a difference because you are a man and I'm a woman?
1,000%.
I do too. And that really bugs me because, I mean, obviously,
it's exhausting for women to constantly have to keep up that,
I want to say facade, because it's not real.
Well, I mean, it's something that you're constantly thinking about. You just told us that you have been coloring your hair for 14, 15 years.
Yeah. No, and the money that
That's exhausting.
Takes, the time that it takes, the planning that it takes.
It's not fair at all.
Yeah.
It's not fair at all, because you look at the George Clooney's. I have a dear friend who's much younger than me, 7, 8 years younger than me. He dyed his hair silver because he thought it looked good. Wow. He thought it was like the look that he wanted. So,
and some women can pull that off, but I would say way more we color our hair into 60s and 70s. Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely worried about it. And I don't feel like I could have a couple of wispy grays and it would look as good or be as accepted. Mm-hmm. I really think that's the accepting part, not that it looks good. Be as accepted as it is on a man.
Sure.
We say, oh, Salt and Pepper, he looks so great. And you mentioned George Clooney. That man is aging gorgeous, but he's got gray hair.
Yeah. It's never part of the conversation with someone like that. He's aging beautifully. That's what people say.
Yeah.
But there's like, oh, his gray hair looks fantastic. It's just not part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Where on the other side, on the female side, if someone is aging and they do look beautiful, but their hair color, can you believe that she just let her hair be her natural state?
Yeah, it's stunning. Can you believe it?
Stunning.
What a shock. Yeah, but people don't do that anymore. And
it's not fair.
It's crazy. It's really crazy. And I'll tell you, it's so deeply embedded that I kind of figured that's how this conversation was going to go. But I appreciate you being supportive because it is hard.
Do you think I need to do the natural cover-up thing, though? Be honest.
I like
people will see the picture. We can have them vote or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely need them vote. What I would love is just to see, like, what would it look like? Or I want to see some before and afters of whatever product that is.
Yeah.
Because I want to see, like, I do love a salt and pepper. I'm not going to lie. I love a salt and pepper. But I truly think you look great. And you have beautiful hair color. Like, it's that silver, you got that silver fox thing going on.
Well, I mean, thanks parents for the genes and all that kind of good
seriously.
stuff. But again, going back to the conversation, it's just not something that I've ever thought about, like aging, how it's going to age.
Yeah. Can you be my therapist and teach me how to do that? Live in a patriarchal
I think if
society?
I was your therapist, that we would probably turn the page and you would become my therapist. I mean, we already do that anyways. But
yeah, exactly. It is very interesting. It does validate me a little bit that I'm not crazy. Like,
I don't think
it is something that is definitely weighing on us from society.
Just this conversation has now opened up my eyes a little bit more, just to be a little bit more compassionate when we're having those kind of interactions with people, that this is something that I don't deal with, but you do.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I appreciate it because of the cost and the time. Like, you do need to always buy my dinner from here on out.
1,000%.
So I can still pay for these needles in my forehead.
How about wine? I'll buy your wine from
Thank
here
you
on
so
out.
much. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's a delight. Well, I'll tell you this. It was fun to do videos with you back in the day when we were in our 20s, and I would just go to your apartment and we would literally open up a laptop, hit record, talk about whatever funny thing. And it's good to see you now in a real studio and being on a podcast. Is this your first podcast?
First podcast.
First podcast ever.
Yeah. And I would only do it for you, really.
You're so sweet. You're such a natch. You're such a natural. It was so easy. We didn't have to edit a thing.
I don't believe that. I feel like there will be one or two edits, but I do appreciate the vote of confidence.
You didn't lose it. You know,
it's just natural. It kind of goes back to our last conversation. It's that connection that we have from growing up in a very similar environment, very similar experiences in that generation. And I think that's what it's all about. And
I do want to say something else that's so beautiful about a friendship like ours is we can go from something very surface level and something very silly. This person's cute, or I like this bag, or whatever silly thing, to something very serious about or my family, or my experience, like my hurtful feelings about how it is to age, or this or that. And you just like seamlessly go with me because we've laughed, we've cried, we've questioned, we've all the things.
Yeah, we'll have to do this again at some time and talk about that homecoming that you brought up and that whole night, because that was a day.
It sure was, and I reference it a lot. But I'm not going to make you wait for the picture because that would be mean. I'm going to put the picture out right now.
Yeah, the story matched with the picture, I think is going to make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for being here. Love you, honey. See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to Little Things, Big Feelings with Joy Delaney. Do you have big feelings? Joy would love to hear them. Call and leave a voicemail at 214-519-9373. Thanks.
Oh, you have to say the number again.
Why?
In case they missed it.
They can just hit that button and rewind 15 seconds.
Okay, I guess, but what if they were getting a pen?
A pen? This is a podcast. It's all on your phone.
Yeah, but don't you still have to type it in or something?
That's not really how any of this really works. That's 214-519-9373. Is that good?
Thank you, James.